OMG, I am so excited.
Podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Nah, boxed 12 rounds and ran. Don't respect that.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the voice of the people. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
You know the saying, stay hungry, stay humble.
BoxingVoice.com.
I'm humble in defeat, and I'm going to remain humble in victory. This is it, right?
DAZN Productions.
I just wanted to put on a great boxing masterclass and also show the sweet science of this lovely sport. Man, the first time was so nice, I had to do it twice.
I'm prepared to the best of my capability, and I pray that I get the win. Look at him, I love Mike Tyson, how he came into the game on some different kind of vibe. You know what I mean? It takes a crazy man to want to fight, you know what I mean? Day in, day out. The hardcore sport, as you said, no silk shoes.
Ain't no other sight in the game to see the boxing boys.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. We're back with another one. This is our second show of the day. So if you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, as this is a 7-day-a-week, multiple time a day show, right? Like we go on multiple times a day. We do this 7 days a week. And if you want to rock out with us every single time, you should be subscribing to the YouTube channel right here at youtube.com/ThaBoxingVoice and hit that notification so you get the notification for this particular show. What are we discussing? We're discussing unified champion and lineal unified champion, right? Is he considered a lineal unified now that he has the WBC, the lineal belt, and the Ring magazine? We're talking about the two last men standing and the fact that, according to Eddie Hearn, there's a possible deal being struck that could see these two men face each other this year in December. As soon as this year in December, which is obviously great news for boxing fans that want to see undisputed, and great news for the heavyweight division. It definitely gives us a bit of a closure, to say the least, right? But yeah, man, this is what we'll be discussing. Let me give you some facts.
There's been loads of talks with Top Rank and Bob Arum, one yesterday or the day before. We're ready to move ahead and make the deal with Tyson Fury now. I think there's a deal that can be done very quickly. You know, the only thing to sort out is probably the structure of the TV rights, which again I think we found a solution for.
Well, we'll leave that right there. But that is the audio. That is what we're talking about. Unification with the unified champion Anthony Joshua, and the unification with the unified lineal Tyson Fury. He's got a ring now. He's got a WBC, and he's got the clutchless. Can't clutch that lineal, but it's there. Some way, somehow, it's there. So, yeah, man, this is what we're talking about. You know the number to call in, 1-425-569-5241. Press 1 time. Voice your opinion right here on the Voice of the People hotline. Don't forget, you can add Nestor Gibbs on Skype to be part of the conversation. Call in anywhere in the world. Be part of the conversation. If you don't have Skype, download the free app on your respected app market while you're there. Download Patreon and get some exclusives so you can ask any of the guests that we have on the show a question. Let me head on out to my co-host in Corpus Christi, Texas, the very Mexican Mario Munguia.
It's me, Mario.
What is up? What is up? I'm so glad we're doing this show on this topic. I first saw that news posted by Joseph Rodriguez, Supermex, in the chat, and it was by Michael Benson, who had I saw originally posted it, and then of course the video. Did you play the audio clip? I'm so sorry, I'm out of breath. I
played
got
half
my dog
of
back
it.
in. Played half of it. Okay, good. Well, there's some things that went through that really stuck out, and I'm sure we'll get to all of them. We'll chop it up. The one thing that was definitely said was that he doesn't anticipate, or I'll put it this way. I'm sorry, not what was said, but how I interpreted it. It seems like, and this is the obvious, that it's much easier fight to make with Fury, and these talks had already been going down. But the one thing that he said was the fight is pretty much done. It would only come down to working out the structure of the TV rights. This is a direct quote. But he believes the solution is found, which we had talked about earlier in the morning show. And then, of course, the location. Where's the fight going to be? Who's going to retain the TV rights? Who's going to, show it live? Who's going to have the library vault? All that stuff is important, and we're going to get down to it. But there was so much in that interview, and then in another article that we need to go over. I mean, just to talk about DAZN and how it's the only international promoter, and the way he broke that down is absolutely true. And so, he did mention also, we talked about this morning, he did mention the DAZN getting into the UK market. And he didn't really specifically say the UK market. I mean, he was asked that question, and he said more globally. He had talked about, Japan and Brazil and just everywhere, Italy, and so, we'll get into all that. But he did say something interesting that I took from it that I think is going to be important, but it doesn't have anything to do with Fury, Joshua. So,
well, let's get back to this audio and make sense of it. You go ahead and pull up that article so we can dissect that as well.
And where it's going to be. But I'm happy for AJ to sign that deal to fight the winner of Wilder against Fury, and then to fight the winner of Joshua against Pulev. Even if I'm happy to sign with Deontay Wilder, because we just want the winner of that fight. And I really feel like there will be a deal in place, certainly for the Tyson Fury side, prior to their next fights.
So this is what we're discussing, because he's leaving it open to possibly fighting Deontay Wilder if he gets the win. But the big news is that there's going to be a deal in place from the Fury side with the AJ side, meaning before.
He's hoping.
I mean, I'll play it from the top, but it sounds like everything is set for that to happen.
There's been loads of talks with Top Rank and Bob Arum, one yesterday or the day before. We're ready
yesterday or the day before, that's recent,
to move ahead and make the deal with Tyson Fury now. I think there's a deal that can be done very quickly. The only thing to sort out is probably the structure of the TV rights, which again I think we found a solution for, and where it's going to be. But I'm happy for AJ to sign that deal.
See, I mean, I don't think anything is holding them back. He said they've already sorted out the television issue with Bob. Do you think
he said he thinks they have a solution? That's a little different. I think that you're right. They've probably spoken about it, but who knows how far along they are? But it sounds like it's done is the point.
Or that it could get done.
Or it could get done,
right?
I'm sorry.
Whereas with Wilder's team, we know that he's been more like, look, I'm not talking about anything past Fury till I get past Fury. So, if they could get a deal in place before the fight, is that big in your opinion? Does that show, I don't know, something?
Oh, it's absolutely huge. Absolutely huge. If it were to get done before the fight, that adds a layer to the fight. See, if the fight doesn't get done, but we all know, and when I say we, I mean you, me, Joseph, Info Joe, I mean like hardcores. If we know that the fight's going to get done, that's a different thing. And that can't really be talked about on the telecast or in the lead up to the fight. If obviously hardcores like yourself and some of the great experienced videographers that we have interviewing these people all over the world will ask that question, but it won't become part of the dialogue within the trilogy for Fury Wilder. What would become part of that dialogue is for one, if not both of them, to sign that deal. And I think it looks better if they both sign the deal for multiple reasons, but specifically so that Fury doesn't look like he's kind of, counting his eggs before they hatch. And I don't think he'd do that anyway at all, regardless of that. I think he's just saying, hey, we'll fight. That's why if they are going to do it, honestly, it should be a stipulation that they're going to fight no matter what. It'd be great if it could be the winner, but Fury Joshua, just let it happen no matter what at the end of the year.
Now, How much do we believe Eddie? I mean, we seen Tyson say that he spoke to McGregor and McGregor was willing to train him. Then McGregor says, I never spoke to Tyson Fury in my life. We know that Eddie said some things, and then Tyson one day put out a few emails to prove that, that Eddie might not be always telling the truth. Do we believe this?
I believe it. I believe it for multiple reasons. One, because he's not the only one saying this. There are other parties out there. There have been other rumors. People, and one of the articles I read that I forgot to clip has somebody supposedly from the Fury camp. Now, all these things could be a giant misdirection, and we have known Hearn to exaggerate or even bend the truth in the past. So yeah, you're absolutely right. That's a possibility. But with this, I don't think it is, because we all know what Fury wants. We all know what Joshua wants. Right now, Wilder, we know exactly what he wants. He wants that get back, right? But we know that where Fury's headed. He knows that his career isn't going to be a super long one in this sport, and he's looking to get paid. I mean, to go Wilder Joshua back to back, he would have my vote for Fighter of the Year if he lost both those fights. Just to go back to back in that gauntlet, he should get at least 2 or 3 or runner up, or 2. I do believe him. I believe him because I want to believe him, because I want this to be true, and I believe him because I have to believe him. He's worked really hard to put themselves in this situation, and I fully believe that if Wilder didn't execute his contract stipulation, then we would be seeing Joshua Fury following Joshua's next fight.
Well, they obviously both have to get past the win. AJ will have a rematch clause where Fury Wilder will not. This will be the last rematch on this particular trilogy. Can they go for a 4th one and renegotiate if Wilder wins? Possibly. But we will have to see. Fury's mentioned 3 more fights before retirement. Does the AJ fight come before the Dilli and White fight that he said he would give Dilli and White?
Absolutely. And you know why it does? Because in that interview, which I was really hoping we were going to play the whole thing, I know that it was long. It was like 7 minutes, or at least the end of it, because he does say in the interview, shout out to Box Social, that Dilli and White, he's the mandatory, and he was kind of bigging him up, like, oh, he's fighting Povetkin, and isn't this crazy how he's the mandatory, and most people in the mandatory spot, they just kind of like lay low for a while and then fight, whatever, to wait to get to that fight. And here's this guy, he's fighting Alexander Povetkin, but he mentioned in that interview, Eddie did,
technically,
that
which
White
is
was
true.
Looking to, yes, technically, which is true. He said in the interview that White isn't looking to get that fight with Fury if it happens until February. He made it very clear that Joshua's priority, and White knows that. And then, of course, Wilder Fury's priority before that. So he did say that it wouldn't come until next year. So I am 100% confident that if Fury wins, Joshua Fury is next. And I'm also fairly confident that if he loses, Fury Joshua is next.
I don't think Dillian gets his shot. I think that obviously
at all.
Not with Fury or Wilder, right? Because I feel like if Fury wins, he'll do undisputed, and Mauricio's gonna allow that to happen. So Dillian will get the short end of the stick there. And then if Fury goes on, so now Fury fights AJ. Depending who wins, there's a 2-way rematch. It's not gonna be. Come on, bro. You squint in your face. You think that either party is going into undisputed for all the marbles with no rematch?
Oh, yeah, of course. You're right. That sounds stupid. I was thinking in the sense of I don't know.
Brother.
No. Okay. Here's this. I'll agree with you. Absolutely 100%. You're right. There will be a rematch clause. I don't know that it'll be an immediate rematch type clause. I don't think that we should speculate on that.
Crazy.
I just don't think that.
Brother, Eddie
maybe
said.
That's just me hoping.
Wishful thinking. But Eddie said he'll never. He said he'll never send his fighter into a fight of that magnitude without a rematch clause, and he showed you that with the Ruiz fight. There was a rematch there. He didn't overlook Ruiz and not put that stipulation. There's no way, with all the marbles on the line, with the money that's gonna be on the line, like, why not force a rematch, bro? Like, you kidding me? The finances always make sense in most rematches. So that rematch clause is gonna push Dillian White out, because if Fury beats Joshua, Joshua activates his rematch clause. If Joshua beats Fury, Fury activates his rematch clause. So, like, the two more fights that Fury wanted to have will be spent up in the undisputed, rematch and negotiations.
Here's the thing, though. If if Joshua wins, I could see, of course, an immediate rematch. Depending on what it looks like, of course. If Fury wins, I don't know if he does that to White. I don't know.
But you understand that White get that. I don't know. Do you understand that I'm talking about? Okay, Fury beating Wilder, then going to fight AJ. That fight will have a two-way rematch. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. And I agree. But again, I think that depending on how the fight turns out, first and foremost, and depending on which one of them wins, the rematch may not be immediate. I don't know.
Let me just interrupt to say this, right?
Okay.
For me and many, we thought the AJ Ruiz loss was so devastating that he shouldn't go into it. For Stephen A. Smith, Max Kellerman, and many, they think that the Fury win over Wilder is so devastating he shouldn't go into it. Both men went into it. So for us to believe that the rematch won't be immediate, it doesn't make sense. History shows us it is immediate. The only time it's not immediate is when the champion who lost doesn't want to fight, like Abner Mars didn't want to fight Johnny Gonzalez.
Well, I think you're absolutely right, because most of the time, especially when you have immediate rematch clauses, when you have a mega fight, it's usually between two promoters that we didn't think the fight was going to happen. So in this case, though, you have Dillian White waiting on the wings, and Hearn has an invested interest in that fight, were that fight to happen between Fury or Joshua. So I don't know. It's difficult to say. I think that in most cases, the promoter of the losing fighter is anxious to get his fighter that get back. But in this case, if he has the losing fighter, he has a few other options that could make an immediate rematch not necessarily the route to go. So I don't know. We'll see.
Obviously at this point, after Wilder's loss to Fury, it sounds crazy for me to say, or people won't really give it much thought, but what would happen if Wilder beat Fury again, or for the first time, and like, would they really do a fourth one right away, like Marquez Pacquiao? Would they go their separate ways, then go back, like?
Listen, I'll say this. I think after the third fight, if Wilder were to win, we'd see him. It depends if he looks really good and he comes up unscathed. We would see him next against Andy Ruiz, assuming Andy Ruiz wins his fight. I think that's be the next time we'd see him. If he loses, the next time we see him in a big fight will be Andy Ruiz. So all avenues point there, and that's one of the reasons why I do hope Fury wins. And it's not because I'm a fan. I mean, I think he's incredible, and it's not like, oh, I'm picking one guy over the other, like this is fucking WWE and we're talking about heels and baby faces. I'm just saying that what's better for me as a fight fan is for Fury to get that W, because we know that talks have been going on with his promoter for Joshua. We know that Dillian White's waiting in the wings, and we know those fights, I think, are a little, I'm not even going to say easier to make, but at this point they're further along, and that's good enough for me.
I mean, I could definitely see your argument and why you would believe something like that. But again, being as though the Fury's already announced the short list, if he takes the AJ fight, I just can't see White getting in on the two remaining fights. Those will be sold up with AJ rematch.
Sure. I could see that. I could see that. Listen, I don't want to get off topic at all. I want to make one point from that video. Okay. And this was the point that I wanted to make with the article. I feel like the video is better. The quotes were. So Hearn was talking about, and the only reason I'm bringing this up is because we talked about this earlier in the last show. Hearn was talking about DAZN coming to the UK and the global markets, and the way that he made it sound was that they were going ahead with it because we all know they still have 1 year left with Sky, and it sounds like they're going to do an extension too, from what he's saying. We all know that. Or what he's saying is that DAZN is venturing into these markets because a lot of times in these markets like Italy and France and places like that, local people, promoters or networks, they buy these foreign fights and they have the rights to them in that country. So here's DAZN. They're going to come along and they're going to be the Netflix of the world, and they're going to get into those markets and have access to those fights. So he's almost making it sound like the venture into new markets and new territory, specifically the UK, is not about live fights. It's about giving people access to this catalog that has come out. And that's one way they could do it and stay with Sky Sports, allowing people in the UK or wherever to access the fight on playback, but not and black it out live. That happens with me with ESPN Plus a lot. I'll go to watch a baseball game. It's blacked out in my market, but I have a buddy, in Dallas who's watching it, and so it's really weird on ESPN Plus. So, they could black out fights. So that's just the real quick point I wanted to make, because I feel like it was an important topic that you had brought up earlier, and we had talked about them being the Netflix of boxing, and it sounds like they're going that route, but I don't believe Hearn in this one. I don't believe him at all. I think that he knows that they want to test the market. They want to see how many people are going to order DAZN just to see fights on playback and archives. And once they are able to test the waters, dip their toe in and judge it, that's when they unleash the barrage and the full power of that app. And that's when they say bye to Sky Sports, I think. Could be a couple years, 3, 4, 5, whatever. But it will happen, and they're laying down the groundwork now.
Definitely gonna happen. The zone is in the business of all territories, and the UK market is obviously a big market that they're gonna want to capitalize on and definitely get some of that money. But let's open up these phone lines. No interviews on this particular show, so we're gonna go out to the callers. But before we do that,
AJ,
well done, yes sir.
I think you could spit a little bar. We give you a couple words. Maybe 2 words, not 4.
I like to blow my trumpet and that, do you know what I mean? In my last fight, I had to watch my weight. I'm eating too much, even though I'm a heavyweight.
Hey!
I'm on time and I'm never ever late. I'm hustling hard so I can go on and be a great. In JD, chilling with my mates. I stay low key, never ever moving bait. Keep it calm, ring the alarm. Man chat, get slapped with my palm.
One sec. Hey! Oh! AJ! Shut down! My God!
Yes. Let's get on out to our sponsors, and we're going to open up these phone lines. You know the number to call in, 1-425-569-5241. Press 1 time. Voice your opinion right here on the Voice of the People hotline.
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
Remember to rate us 5 stars on iTunes.
I feel like I might need to play the audio one last time before going out. You know what I mean? I think
all the way through. Like all the way through?
All the way through might get us flagged, but definitely let them hear it.
I just meant not pause, just because you did it and you broke it up.
Well, I paused it purposely because not our audio. I don't want Boxing Social getting mad. You know how things go.
Got it. Okay, got it.
Been loads of talks with Top Rank and Bob Arum, one yesterday or the day before. We're ready to move ahead and make the deal with Tyson Fury now. I think there's a deal that can be done very quickly. The only thing to sort out is probably the structure of the TV rights, which again I think we found a solution for.
There goes my pause, but also I'm just like, wow, they figured that out. I always thought that would be a major hiccup. DAZN what's his name? John Skipper used to work for ESPN, then just kind of took sick leave, then all of a sudden left. I'm like, they'll never work with him. And I guess that's not the case. You know what I mean?
Well, when millions are on the line and these guys actually want to fight each other, it seems like no obstacle's too big.
Yeah, it's looking that way.
Where it's going to be. But I'm happy for AJ to sign that deal to fight the winner of Wilder against Fury and them to fight the winner of Joshua against Pulev. Even if I'm...
Hey, man, you got to give it to Eddie. I mean, because you heard what he said there, to fight the winner of Wilder against Fury. So he's not counting him out, and he's still willing to work with him.
To sign with Deontay Wilder, because we just want the winner of that fight. And I really feel like there will be a deal in place, certainly for the Tyson Fury side, prior to the
shots fired, indirect shot.
Next fights.
Indirect, certainly from the Tyson Fury side. Yeah. We'll see, Eddie. We'll see just how true that is.
The only reason why it might not be a shot is because earlier in that interview, he said that they were waiting to see what Wilder was going to do. In regards to talking with Top Rank, they had been talking to Top Rank.
Yeah, waiting on the rematch.
To see what he's going to do. So, that might be the reason why it's further along, is because if Wilder didn't opt for that rematch, they were going to go ahead with that Fury fight. And that's the guy to fight right now. So that might be the only reason that he said what he said.
You imagine they had already struck a deal to put Pulev to the side, give him step-aside money, let AJ Fury go?
100%.
I just don't know that Pulev was going to accept it, though. I don't think Pulev was going to accept it.
I think that
a lot of money
made him see the route. Yeah, exactly.
But let's go out to. Oh, he just took himself out the queue. Supermax, you're a mastermind, so let me know. Was that a mistake? You were trying to make sure you was in the queue, took yourself out, or are you doing a load right now and had to get out of the queue? So we're going to go over to this side and head on out to some boomerangs while Supermax makes up that mind.
You know how these bitches is in the sport. Total disrespect. Kid has no class, no style at all.
I'm a gorilla, I'm a dog. I'm a dog, I'm a gorilla.
The smartest thing you can do is to stay away from terrorists.
It can't be the boogeyman if I'm chasing. What you want to bet on? You bet 100,000 on that. Let's bet $1 million. Easy. Let's bet $1 million.
Yo, what up, Ness? Mario. Hey,
what up?
Shout out. You didn't tell me you had Brandon, Coyote, Donnie, and Big Nick all screaming in the back of that AJ hype song. I just realized I can hear all their voices. All his man fans screaming in there. Nah, but to the call, Eddie Hearn, I'll believe it. If I had to say I believe it, he's banking on Tyson Fury winning. But if Wilder wins, I'll believe that when I see it. That's my first call.
All right. Let's see who's up next. Trey in the Bay, Boomerang.
Yeah. So I'm kind of confused. Is he talking about the winner of the fight?
Yeah, he's talking about the winner, but he has a deal in place with Tyson in case Tyson wins because he's been talking to Bob. Not a deal in place, but they're very close to setting a deal in place, if that makes any sense.
Okay, okay. Yeah, shit. I don't know. I just want to see them all fight everybody. Everybody. Mix it up. Give my second call to JT.
All right. Going out to Ringer in Detroit by way of New Mexico. What up?
Yo, Ness.
Rel, what up?
Hey, man. I just want to say that I think Eddie Hearn full of shit. I think he's full of shit because he said the winner of Wilder Fury, and then he goes on to say we have something set up prior with Fury. But at the end of the day, it was just shots fired at Wilder. And I just feel like as the voice of the people, as the boxing voice, this is the perfect platform to say it. If Wilder wins this fight, this trilogy against Fury, we should push for the Wilder-AJ fight. I mean, I would love to see him and Ruiz fight. I think that would still be a great, amazing fight. But just as bad as Fury is the champion right now, and we have to respect it, and we would want to see him against Joshua, we should keep that same energy for Wilder because him and Wilder both got a loss and they both technically in that fight would be 2-time champions. So that's still a fight that we got to push for. So I'm just looking forward to the trilogy. That's my call, TBV for life.
Rel, thanks for calling in, champ. Let's make sure we got no more boomerangs or masterminds, things like that. Joseph isn't ready yet. Going out to... Who's up next? Looking like...
So interesting that you come across like a nice guy, but you're really a piece of shit. Hey, with that comment. Come on. That was a piece of fuck you. That was a piece of shit. You know, we're doing live TV. Man, I don't care. What you gonna do about it?
I'll kill this mother. Why do you have to talk like that? Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you. You have a problem? Turn off your station. I'm the best ever.
What's up, Ness? What's up, Mario?
What up? What up?
What up?
Me personally, I think Eddie Hearn's prefer to fight Fury right now. Trying to throw that in there, so hopefully the Wilder would not take the fight, but we know Wilder will take the fight. So we don't even need to talk about that. So if Wilder wins, it depends on how he wins. If he knocked Fury out in his trilogy fight, I think all that talking about fighting Wilder go back. He go crawfish on his word, and it's gonna be some other bullshit with it. So I mean, I don't believe that, but he's hoping Fury win again. So he feel like that's an easier fight for him. Because I still got Wilder knocking Anthony Joshua out.
All right, JT, man, thanks for calling in. We going out to Ringer Status. Josh, North Carolina. What up?
What up, TVV? Back at it with another one I see, goddammit. That's what's up. Hey, man, I'll put it like this. Eddie Hearn's not doing his job all the way because why the hell you ain't talking to Al Heyman? Or Al Heyman's people, too. I mean, you can go ahead and get both sides set up. So which either way it goes, you're going to have to fight in place with Wilder or Fury. You know what I'm saying? I think Eddie Hearn, Germ Hearn, I think he's a little full of it, but I don't care, man. I just want to see all these boys fight each other. Them top three have a round-robin tournament. But, yeah, I want to see AJ fight Wilder or Fury by the end of this year. That's my call. Salute to y'all. Like, share, subscribe to the listeners. I'm out.
Hey, God bless my man. Listen, I want to make it clear. The reason why they were further along, it's not that Hearn was ignoring Wilder. It's that they wanted to secure the Fury Joshua fight if Wilder wasn't going to take it. They didn't want the fight with Wilder because Fury won. So they were trying to make that fight, and that's why they're further along. So it's not about dissing Wilder, and he said it clearly. We want the winner. They wanted Fury because he was the winner. If they're going to fight again, they want the same thing. They want the winner. And so that's the only reason why they're further along with Fury is because that fight was, from what I've heard, that fight was very close to being done. And that would have been most likely the place they would have went.
Is that a fair statement to make? You have to be honest with yourself.
What's going on, Ness? And hi, Mario. Long time no talk. MD.
Long time no talk, man. What's up,
Boxing
MD?
MD, what up?
What's going on? Hey, I'll make it quick. But I don't understand it. So if Wilder wins, like if he somehow wins in a knockout, so what? Now we forgot that Fury destroyed Wilder and then probably won that first fight. So of course that fight against AJ Wilder is not going to look as well as Fury winning again. And it's obvious because Wilder was destroyed and then probably lost that first fight. So it's obvious. Like, you guys forget that Fury probably is up 2-0 and at best is up a big win and a draw, you know? So it just doesn't make sense. Also, like, I don't know, like, you got to talk to your boy Ness, your boy Wilder, because, like, he's, like, putting on makeup now, Ness. Maybe he's talking to Al Heyman a little too much, if you know what I'm saying. Because, you know, they both, like, you know.
When he put
Ness
on
knows
makeup.
exactly what I'm talking about. Ness knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, you're talking about the IG video? You think he had makeup on?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying, like, you know, CT is serious. But again, I mean, my real point is that, like, why do you guys don't think that?
I didn't see the makeup, but I don't really get his main point about if Wilder wins, what are we supposed to forget that he lost? Like, so what about Marquez? I mean, look, Marquez lost 3 out of the 4 and got the knockout, and that's it. That's just been it. He knocked him out.
Look, it's not a boxing thing. It's a sports thing. It's a what have you done for me lately? You know, I'm a Lakers fan, which might have broken Joseph's heart right then and there. And before the season started, all anyone did was say how the Lakers had no shot and how they were going to be garbage and they didn't get enough from the last couple years of free agency, which is crazy to me. But now they're winning and everybody's on top of them, right? Well, they're doing a little worse now, but that's the same thing in boxing. Whoever wins gets the spotlight put on them, and that's the fight everybody wants. It's just harder to – it's not going to be hard to sell Fury Joshua, but it's a little weird to sell it in the sense that, oh, you lost your last fight. So, yeah, no, nobody's going to forget that Fury is that guy who, you know, won 2 fights, in my opinion. But at the same time, whoever wins that next one, that's who should get the fight. And then fight Fury again or fight him for the first time if Joshua wins.
I just don't see how it makes no sense that if Wilder wins, his win doesn't count, but if Fury wins, the fight is big. That's what he's saying. Like, yo, if Wilder wins, what am I supposed to forget that he had knocked out and arguably a draw? Like, no, but it's the 3rd one, and it's part of the contract. And it's actually the one that's the nail in the coffin for Wilder and for Fury because there is no more negotiations after this. They would have to renegotiate for a 4th fight. This is out of the contract at this point. But we got other callers. We're going out to Aaron and Cali. Talk to me.
What's up, guys? A lot of speculations, a lot of possibilities, a lot of scenarios. I definitely feel like Fury and Joshua were working behind the scenes. Obviously, it's the easier fight to make because you have Frank Warren over there. They're in good with the UK and the British Board of Boxing Control. So, you know, it's definitely an easier fight, and I think that is on the horizon if Fury does win. Obviously, Hearn can put Usyk and White on the back burner and pay them step-aside money for them to have 2 fights, and you would see Usyk or White at the end of 2021 for the winner of AJ Fury. The other scenario is if Wilder does win, I think Fury and AJ might happen, might not. But Wilder and AJ possibly will happen because I think AJ and Hearn now see the chink in Wilder's armor. He's already taken the loss. They're confident now. It's the biggest fight. So I think they will push forward with the Wilder fight. If they don't, then they're going to throw Dillian White at Wilder, make Wilder fight that mandatory, and I think Ruiz will come in after that. But I don't see Ruiz in the mix necessarily, but I see more White or AJ if Wilder wins.
I just think that Ruiz fight is so much easier to make, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't fully disagree with you. And listen, I would love for what you said to be just fact. You know what I mean? I love Dillian White, and I want him to get those opportunities, but I don't know.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
Oloki, you are next, my friend. Por eso lo vuelvo a repetir. La era del Canelo la mejor porque peleó con los mejores. La suerte es para los mediocres, my friend.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
Yo, Ness, Mario, how do I sound?
Perfect.
Great.
Alrighty, finally got this noise cancellation.
Oh,
yeah! And
that's what's up, man.
And I'm getting my voice back a little bit. Yo, yeah, man, I like the idea of this being done because it kind of reminds me of the throwback days of when fights were done ahead of time. Oscar De La Hoya was someone who did that a lot. You know, his fights with Oberkar and Ike Corte were all set up ahead of time. Also was the Trinidad fight. Those 3 fights were already kind of done deals going into that. The same with the Bernard Hopkins fight. I like that because it puts more pressure too because it's like if you want to get to that big payday down the line, you got to win here. But let's say Wilder wins the rematch, man. I honestly, you know, although I do like the idea of still letting Fury go in there, you know, I would hope that they don't go for that 4th fight right away. I think you need a break from it after this 3rd one. So, yeah, I'm kind of with Mario. Like, if Wilder wins, let Fury go for that fight anyways. You know, see what happens there and then go for the 4th because, in honesty, you would need a fourth fight to clear up. It'd be 1-1-1, so all the way across. But yeah, man, I like the idea. I wish more fighters would do this. More fighters would agree to step fights up down the line. Ness, what do you think if Wilder wins, though?
We got Brandon, Cincinnati. Just listening, going to Marlon So Icy Sims, Pro Boxer 130. What up?
I'm just listening.
All right, champ. Good luck in that upcoming fight. Matabula, talk to us.
Yo, what do you do, brother? You all right?
We're good. And yourself?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Just listening to the show, doing some work over here. I'm in uni. So I just want to ask you guys one thing. You know how DAZN is launching in multiple territories and going over in many territories? Do you think they could strike a deal with PBC and Top Rank to have those televised in all their territories?
I'm sure they already have a deal with PBC for PBC fights in other territories like Italy and I think Denmark. The Wilder fight was shown in a few countries on DAZN. They carried it. The Wilder Fury fight.
Yeah. I think it's a good thing because they, in other countries, I'm telling you, like where I come from in Zambia, it's very hard to watch boxing unless it's on a specific channel. So I hope they can do that, and then it will be a good thing for us, all of us. And the one thing on Deontay Wilder, man, I pray that his mental health is all right, because, listening to all this stuff is just, I don't know if it's just going to make him think like they're sidelining him and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know if that could have an effect on him. And then I think if he loses the fight, he's going to be in a very bad position. And I just hope he's getting ready for that camp, because I'm hearing that Fury is preparing himself and...
Cut it.
Matabula, thanks for calling in. We're going out to PSK in the UK. Talk to me.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Sorry, I just jumped in there. So what was the topic again, please?
Fury and AJ. Eddie is saying that him and Bob, have been talking on multiple occasions. They're kind of close to a deal for Fury AJ after both beat each other's respective fight. Obviously, Fury would have to beat Wilder again. AJ would have to beat Pulev, and then they do this Undisputed in December. And he said they also worked out the television issues.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, it sounds like a good idea. What I would hope is that it's the winners of each fight each other. Taking away Pulev, obviously. So the winner of Wilder or Fury gets the fight, not just Fury and AJ. So it makes it, then it's appealing for all fans, really. You know what I mean? So if Wilder wins, he gets the AJ fight. If Fury wins, he gets the AJ fight. And then the quicker we get to Undisputed, the better, really. Because I think if Wilder wins, that appeals to the US audience, making the fight bigger in the US and in the UK. Whereas Fury, AJ would just be UK big, if that makes sense. So hoping it's more of the winners of each gets the fight as opposed to just Fury and AJ. And that's what cool.
All right, brother. All right. So, man, Boxing MD must not really like Wilder. He sent me a picture. He's like, look at your man's getting makeup. And it's like he's on set. And it's a makeup artist. So I guess Stephen A. Smith, Max Kellerman, and, Lampley, Ward, all those people are also feminine because they use makeup for a set. Okay, we're going to Sid in Ohio and Florida.
Yes, sir. And today, Michigan. What's up, man? Everybody need to like this video. What was the topic? Because I just hopped on.
Undisputed in December, Fury AJ. Says Eddie. He's been talking to Bob. He can make it happen.
All right. I had a question for y'all. I'm like, how many fights did Tyson Fury have with Top Rank? And I was on the belief that I remember back then when Tyson Fury was like deserve like 60-40. So I don't know how. Like I think that we need to like worry about it. Tyson Fury gonna be easy to negotiate, and if he really want to have it in America, since he's saying that this is home, but I just got questions. That's all. But shit, that's all I got, man.
Yeah, the thing is that I don't think that AJ and Eddie have an issue now. See, Tyson's done what AJ and Eddie haven't done, and he's done what AJ and Eddie wouldn't do, right? Like, we were trying to get the AJ Wilder fight. Whatever happened, it never happened. Fury made it happen. Fury came out twice and said how easy it was to work with them. Shelly said the same. Frank said the same. Bob said the same. So, he showed that he could get the fight done with Wilder. Then he beat Wilder in Boxing MD's mind twice, and in the world's mind this last time. So Fury's the clear A side. That's why he's getting 60% in the Wilder rematch. The fight has to happen in America, and only Fury has done 800,000 pay-per-view buys, not AJ. So it's really hard to argue A side for AJ with a loss. You know what I mean? When Fury, he beat both bad men, right? Like, he beat Vlad before you, and now he beat Wilder before you too. So, I mean, I don't know. That was just, you must be an AJ fan. No, that was Sid, actually. He was genuinely asking the question. Yeah, because it's, I just don't know, man.
It's habit.
Mm-hmm. We're going to Kevin in Chicago. What up?
What's up? You know what? This trilogy fight with Wilder and Fury, there's everything wrong with boxing. He lost 10 of the 12 rounds the first fight. Even the round he got knocked down in, he came back and won the rest of the round. He didn't win the round, but he came back and boxed him up after he got knocked down. The second fight, he wins 7 rounds to nothing, stops him. Now he got to do a trilogy. I mean, this is heavyweight boxing. Anything can happen. You saw what Fury in his last fight. He got a big cut. I mean, this is heavyweight boxing. Anything can happen. Another risk it's unnecessary. He should be fighting Joshua for unification, but instead we got to do this bullshit trilogy fight. And everybody knows Fury's the better boxer, but he still got to go in there and take a risk. It's just everything wrong with boxing. And another thing, Ruiz got destroyed his last fight. He looked like shit. He came in overweight. Why are people talking about Ruiz? He needs to work his way back up.
Who was that? That I recognize
Kevin
the
in
voice.
Chicago.
Kevin in Chicago. Listen, Kevin, I don't disagree with a single word you said. I feel the exact same way you do. However, you have put me on a mission because I was trying so hard to think of it before you were done. But I am certain there is a fight in the last, it might have been somewhere in the early 2000s where this is the same situation we had where we had an immediate rematch and somebody got destroyed and nobody wanted to see it. And that fighter ended up winning. And you've put me on a mission to find that. I got homework and I'm going to get back to you because
Marquez, bro. Like, I didn't want to see Marquez all them fucking times, and then he shocked us.
He's saying that Fury has won the majority of the rounds in both fights, and that can't be said in the Marquez-Pacquiao 4 fights because Marquez won a lot of those rounds. So I think that's the only difference. So I hear where he's coming from, but I absolutely would love to see the trilogy.
Maidana, Floyd, bro. People acted like the 4 rounds, if you're blind, that you gave Maidana meant he won 7. Like, there wasn't no need for a rematch there either.
Okay, but think about it like this. You and I had a show. Me, Mike had a show for Patreon only where you forced me to find the 10 rounds that Fury won. And if you go based on that logic where you believe that Fury won the majority of those rounds and won that first fight, then to you, Wilder doesn't stand a chance. And Wilder has no business in the ring with Fury, but Wilder has the best punch in all of boxing, and perhaps in the history of boxing has the single greatest punch. So, that always makes things exciting. But I agree. I wish we were getting Joshua Fury now. I wish we would have gotten Wilder Joshua a year ago, 2 years ago, but it is what it is.
Well, let's go to Boomerang in the UK.
Sing along if you know the words. Come on.
What's going on, peoples? What's going on, Mario? What's going on, Ness? Hope Mike is doing well.
What up? Mike's in
Prayers
surgery
for
today.
him.
Remember, Mike's in surgery today. People in the chat talking about I'm getting rid of Mike. Bunch of losers.
He should be out by now, so hopefully,
Yeah.
bless him.
Hopefully everything went well. Sending prayers for him. But yeah, man, yes. I can't believe it. We're actually going to get the undisputed fight in December. Because we all know what's going to happen. We know Fury is going to bully Wilder again. And he's going to, maul him. And Wilder is going to become a journeyman by the end of 2020. That would actually make my year. I'm not even going to lie. I'll be so happy because this guy has been such a big fraud. And he's going to be exposed for who he is. If anyone loves him, they should tell him not to take
So
the
your
immediate rematch, but
happiness
it's too late now.
So your happiness is determined on someone's downfall.
Not necessarily.
Use your boomerang, my friend. Use your boomerang.
That the amount of salt would just give somebody like the highest cholesterol in the world there, man. That was rough.
We're going out to Victor in Baltimore.
Hey, Ness, how you doing?
All good, brother.
Yeah, Mario, how you doing?
What up, man? What up?
Yeah, my take on this is, for some reason, we've not seen the undisputed fight, and I really want Wilder if he can win, but from what he said in the last fight I think the one with Dominic Brazil, when he was asked by Jean Grey, nobody wants to see Luis Ortiz too. The fight we want to see is you and AJ. And Wilder said, good things comes to those who wait. That is a red flag of a guy who don't want to fight for undisputed. And that was after we heard about the DAZN situation. So if Fury will win for undisputed, so be it. I want to see that fight. In this era, we really need to see that fight.
All right, let's see what we got. Looking like Rico. What up?
What's up, Nish? What's the topic?
Topic is Tyson Fury and AJ getting it on in December, according to Eddie. Him and Bob chatting, and it's not going to be hard to make. They almost got a deal.
Yeah, I mean, if you are legitimate boxing fans, just take away your Wilder fanboy, then, the undisputed has to be your priority. Unifying the titles to see who's number one. If you think otherwise, then you're not a fan of boxing, you're just a fanboy. So, just take aside your bias towards Wilder and accept the fact that we need to see who's number one. And in order to see this, we need to unify the titles. So, yeah, I'm all for that. And not just because I'm British. Yeah, so shout out to you guys. And hopefully Wilder can come back. I don't see him doing much or developing enough to...
I had no clue he was British.
I agree with that. But at the same time, and everybody knows how I feel, people should know how I felt about Joshua, and I think he's incredible. I think Fury's the number one fighter in the world. So you would think that I'd feel the exact same way about Wilder and that not wanting to see that fight or thinking they shouldn't fight. But come on, are we pretending like Joshua didn't lose to Ruiz in a fight that we all thought he was going to win? Who's to say he's going to beat Povetkin? Pula. It's one of those things where this division is so deep. That's what makes it great.
I wouldn't even reach that far. Like he's got to beat Pulev. Come on.
I know. I'm just trying to make the point that this heavyweight division is so deep and so stacked. And yes, we need a definitive number one, but anything can happen in boxing.
Don't lose the Pulev, Josh.
He ain't losing.
Nah, I hope not. You know what I mean? We're going out to Michael in the UK. What up?
Yo, what up, guys? Yeah, man. Look, it's time now, isn't it? It's time now. Undisputed, get out. Get it done. I hope they can negotiate and get it done. Do you know what I mean? I remember when they tried to do it with Wilder and Fury, they're still saying, "Oh, you can't do it. You have to wait until the fight's over and then negotiate." But now they seem open to negotiating now early, get it out of the way, and depending on them winning. That's, look, they should win. They both should win. But you never know. Like I said, slip-ups can happen. Do you know what I mean? And they could derail the whole thing. But at least doing it in advance, getting the deal signed in advance, at least we have a plan. Like, we can look forward to, knowing that as long as they win, the undisputed happens. So I'm happy that it happens. That I'm happy that it looks like it's going to happen. That's the best. That's the better thing to say. Do you know what I mean? And everybody should be happy about it. Finally, there could be only one.
Cut it.
Sheesh, I was about to break out the violins for this guy. But let's do some Michigan dub, man. What up?
What up, Bill Ness?
What's good, brother?
This is my opinion. Wilder should have took the $120 million before either him and Joshua lost. Now we done had a Joshua Ruiz rematch, another 2 more Fury and Wilder rematch, 2 more Fury and Wilder rematches, and an Ortiz and Wilder rematch. Come on, man. Let's just get the undisputed Wilder, step aside, get your skills up, beat Charles Martin. The IBF don't play around with their mandatories. If you become the IBF mandatory, you'll get your shot in another year. That's my call.
I love this call though.
Yo, fuck your mandatory shot now. Go become a mandatory in another year. That's hilarious advice right there.
But he's right though. He's right. If that fight would have happened, we would have seen 2 undefeated heavyweights clash, and it would have been one of the biggest fights in all time. It still is one of the biggest fights in all time.
I mean, listen,
but, now we're getting
obviously, we're still in denial, but the facts are black and white. If Hearn and Joshua would have treated Wilder like the star that he is, they would have done the 850,000 pay-per-view buys. It's just that simple. And and in the first fight, they probably would have done more than the 325 that Wilder and Fury did. But instead, they told him that he didn't have any profile, that he needed to raise it, that he wasn't anyone, that he was just from Alabama, and he and Fury have made beautiful music together. And that's just the reality of the situation. People could call in, lie to themselves all they want, say, oh, we should have been had this, we should have been had that. It's so funny that all of a sudden, Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua have finally shut the fuck up, and we don't hear anything about flat fees.
That's so
Hold
unfair.
on. Is it unfair, or do you hear flat fees? Do you hear flat fees? Do you hear failed negotiations? No, you don't hear that anymore. Guess why? Because they ain't negotiating with them. They're negotiating with people that want to do negotiations. They want to do 25+ million per fighter. Per fighter.
And why?
Per fighter.
Because
not this one.
Exactly.
Not this one get 5 million, Mario. Not this one get 2 million. Come on, bro. Come on.
Fair. That's a fair point, and I think that's a problem in all of boxing. That has nothing to do with Eddie Hearn. That's the way business.
No,
is
it's
done.
not a problem in all of boxing. It's not
Yes,
a problem in all. It's a problem with Eddie Hearn because you're forgetting
No.
that Eddie Hearn gave Joseph Parker 37%. 37%. Oh, okay. Look. Okay. Only Wilder wasn't worth a percentage. Listen, this
Wilder
fight
did
got
the
made
fuck-
with Frank Warren. This fight got made with Frank Warren and with Bob Arum because they understood. See, Bob Arum immediately got involved, did he not? After the rematch, he said, "Hold on, I see the big business." He was saying $2 million. He got 2 different networks to co-broadcast. He's seen the big business. Eddie's still wet behind the ears when it comes to comparing him to Bob Arum. Bob Arum didn't play games name-calling Shelly Finkel, name-calling Deontay Wilder, low-cutting him, underbidding him. No, he didn't do any of that. He's an 84-year-old man that knows how to do business.
This is your problem, is you made a lot of great points and a lot of true statements around a false narrative. The false narrative is that Wilder did exactly what they asked. He went and raised his profile, and that's why things have changed, because he did what they wanted him to do. Now, I'm not saying he did it because they wanted him to, but he did what they were expecting him to do, and that's why the narrative changed. You're talking about arguments from 3 years ago, 4 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but
that's
the reason we're arguing them is because people are saying we should have had undisputed. If Team Eddie Hearn and AJ would have had the mindset of Fury and Wilder, where we go in it together, we split it. Think about it. When Wilder's first fight, right, they ended in a draw, he already was giving a 50-50 rematch to Fury. Like, he's never been greedy. So to sit here and try to find reasons as to why the fight didn't happen with him, it's bullshit. He just did 2 super fights and did a pay-per-view with Lewis. He gave Lewis $7 million that Lewis turned down for AJ. Like, to say that it's Wilder's fault, you guys sound insane. He gave Luis Ortiz, a dude that doesn't speak English, $7 million. Then him and Fury made plus $25 million. Like, come on, guys.
But to say that Wilder shares no blame is equally.
How do you
crazy.
share blame when you accepted 2 flat fees, Wilder? Mario. You accepted 2 flat fees, and then they said, no, we can't give you a rematch. Like, it's just insanity.
The way they both handled it in the media was the issue.
I see the route you're going. I won't waste any more time debating this. I see the route you're going. It's all good. Look, hey, it's all good. All I know that we didn't have any of this with Fury and Frank. I mean, they call Frank fish eyes. They say Bob is the one that invented marination. We didn't have any of that.
Look, I'll tell you right now, if that first fight would have been okay, the first fight was a draw, we needed the rematch. Okay, if that second fight would have been a robbery or whatever, like, of course there would have been reasons to have that third fight. I think everybody's down on the fact that we're getting rematch after rematch, and blame is shared by everyone involved. They should have never went and negotiated in the media. Should have never happened.
I mean, and again, who put things out in the media? Oh, he don't answer my calls. He don't answer my emails. You didn't see Shelly and Frank and Al and Bob saying anything about this fight other than it's going to get made. But it's all right. Look, only can lead a horse to water, man. I've been at this long enough to see all I need to see and know all I need to know, man. I got printed out Top Rank shirts because I know Bob's motto, and that's why Fury got 2 tune-ups. They're not stupid over there. You know, they know what they're doing. Just like I'm saying, he's not stupid. He understood big business. He seen Eddie drop the ball, and he put himself in there. He got a percentage. You got a third promoter because Eddie wasn't doing good business.
I don't see how Eddie dropped the ball when
didn't Eddie send
Joshua was the talk of in 2019.
Mario, let's take Wilder out of the equation. Let's take Wilder out of the equation.
Sure.
Didn't Eddie send multiple offers to Fury and couldn't hammer it down?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. When they were both undefeated, when he was coming back, he even offered Fury $3 million tune-ups that I thought was insane for Fury to turn down, and he still couldn't make it sweet enough. But Bob did. So I'm just saying, bro, proof is in the pudding, but it's all good. We won't agree. We'll let the callers decide. It's time to go to Boomerangers. We're going to go to J-Mac, second call. What up?
Yo, yeah, it's funny how MD started popping up out of the whatever rock he was hiding under and stuff, and him and Mario both have the opinion, which is not a fact that Fury won the first fight, and saying how Wilder lost in his last fight, that the fight has lost luster or what have you. It is not the same. But then AJ just get his ass whooped.
Yeah,
so how can AJ still be of the same caliber of a fighter?
Because he's a different person. He's special.
Yo, everybody's calling and saying that. Americans,
you just said that. Hey, Mario, so AJ could get his ass whooped and then redeem himself in the rematch. But Wilder can't fight the better fighter, the pound for one of the best heavyweights, not Andy Ruiz. AJ got his ass bust by somebody that we expected him not to. And at least Tyson Fury was a worthy candidate opponent to what we thinking that, hey man, he may lose or may not. But if Wilder beats him and knocks him out, he got to hold the loss over his head. But AJ could.
No, I didn't say that. That was MD's point.
That was MD's point, but great call. Great call. Man, I'm telling you, bro. It's like one dude loses to a dude that was 20-1. The other dude loses to a dude that was 2-1. And if he beats the dude that was a favorite in his fight, he still he ain't doing enough because he lost twice. Allegedly, in people's eyes. Hilarious.
Listen, he definitely lost twice, but if he were to go out there and stone cold knockout Fury, everybody that's called in, and including myself, would be waiting for that Wilder Joshua fight. So that's I agree with that point, but you know.
All right, let's go out to Seattle, Washington.
Mr. PBC, baby. ThaBoxingvoice.com. I'm the flyest. Canelo talking about he believes he can win. Go to my kitchen, get the sharpest knife, and cut the bullshit out. I don't care what you do good. I do every fucking thing great. Mr. PBC, baby.
Yo, what's good? Ness and Mario.
What up? What up?
What up?
Man, I had a dream about gloves last night. I don't know what's going on. With this AJ shit, I think it is what it is. Eddie Hearn pushes the narrative, and it ain't official, but it's official. So I feel you, but we're gonna get that rematch. So you're saying we're not gonna get the rematch, or they're gonna push it in between?
I don't know what you mean.
What are you asking?
Oh no, Deontay Wilder's still getting the rematch, right? I mean,
yes.
Of course. July looks like the date.
Oh, we're just going off Eddie Hearn's word and stuff like that.
Sure, yeah.
Right.
Okay. We're going off his word. I
Pretty
think
much.
there's credible reason to believe.
Yeah. I mean, but I guess there's a lot of stuff you can go off his word, but we'll still be confused. I mean, Dilli White.
Well,
I'm with you on that.
The only reason I take him at his word now is because the talk on Twitter over the last 2 weeks was that if that fight didn't happen, they were going to try to get the Joshua fight made. And so they weren't the only ones talking about that. Now for him to come out and say he just talked to Bob yesterday, I don't know. I don't know how you can just disbelieve him.
I mean, look, man. Again, Tyson Fury said he talked to McGregor. McGregor was going to teach him some MMA. McGregor came out and said he's never met Tyson Fury in my fucking life. So, you know.
Take it with a grain of salt then, for sure. But I do believe him.
I mean, I believe McGregor. We're going out to a new caller in 815, Chicago, Illinois. What up?
Hey, this is Andrew.
Andrew, what's going on?
I listen to you guys a lot, but I was just kind of wondering, like, the whole thing about, like, I get it how, like, the UK wants the undisputed, but why when, like, Ruiz and Wilder are both American heavyweights, Mexican versus black, you know, those make good numbers. Why is it that, like, that wasn't bad to be happening, you know what I mean?
Because, you know, the UK doesn't want any success in America. So when Ruiz won, they didn't want Wilder to fight him. They wanted AJ to get revenge. And now that, you know, Fury beat, they want the same. They want, you know, Fury to move on so they could do all-out British affair.
Yeah, I just think that's kind of messed up. But I'm with Wilder. I hope that he can get himself back together. I'm here for boxing, but, man, I just think that's kind of messed up how, like, it's always just one way, or it's not the other way, you know? That's all I got to say. Enjoy listening to you guys.
Thank you, brother Andrew in Illinois. We appreciate it.
Listen, I hate to speak so much in between calls because this is the caller's time, but Ruiz, that was such a different scenario. I mean, people
Hell yeah, that
knew
was a
how good he
fucking
was,
ass kicking.
that guy. Well, okay,
He
fine.
made
you want to go
someone.
that route, but what
I
I'm
mean,
saying
he
is
made
that
he made someone quit. He made like a.
no. Oh my god.
He made a
Okay,
unified
listen.
champ quit.
Fine. But the narrative heading into that fight, the word on Ruiz was always that he was a lazy guy and that he didn't train. And what happened?
No,
He
the
came
narrative
back and
was
those
like
were true.
No,
So that's why we didn't want Wilder, because we didn't know how real Ruiz was. We didn't know.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. That we didn't know, could we believe in Ruiz, and I think he's left us in the same situation where I don't know. Now it's like, I could beat you, then I could blame it on my weight, and I could eat pizza, and I could tell you that I eat Snickers. So it is difficult to trust him. But I get the caller from Illinois, Andrew, saying, look, why is everyone beating the drum for Undisputed now that it's two British dudes when we had two Americans? You know, that it would have been a very successful pay-per-view with the fact that one was a Mexican-American and the other was a Black American, the most known power puncher. You know, it would have sold. But they couldn't do it because of contract. Same reason they can't do it now. We're going out to Ringer. Steve in Chicago, right, Steve? I almost forgot now. Steve, too soon, Steve? He dropped off. I don't think he wanted to talk. Probably just jumped in. All right, so let me see. Looking like Coyote Boomerang. Did we go to him twice? Let me see. Coyote.
I thought we did go to. No, maybe we didn't.
All right, I'm just checking, champ. You still the man. Time's ticking, though.
You gotta respect my Boomerang. All right, start me over now. Anyways, yeah, as I was saying, Undisputed in the UK. Let's go. Yeah, listen, Fury and AJ being undisputed is not the same thing as Wilder and Ruiz being undisputed. It just doesn't have the same. It's just not the same. So let's get with the program. Let every true boxing fan should want the undisputed fight. So if we're able to get,
I wonder if it's not the same because one is from because they're not from the UK.
No, it's not even about the UK. It's about what both of them have achieved. It's about what they've achieved. Ruiz hasn't done anything. Does that mean?
What you mean he hasn't done anything? He beat the greatest heavyweight that the UK ever birthed.
He has just one win. You can't compare that to Wilder, who's the
most significant
or AJ,
win,
who has the best resume.
Brother, it's one of
AJ
the most.
Who has the best resume.
Brother, it's one of the most significant wins in the heavyweight division. He beat an undisputed, unified champion. Like, you're talking rubbish now. You're crazy, bro. You can't dismiss that win. That shit was fucking huge. It sent ripples through boxing, and again, the numbers don't lie. The numbers in the pay-per-view, the numbers in the seats, the numbers in DAZN subscribers, the numbers in Andy Ruiz's social media, the numbers in his paycheck, the fact he's got endorsements and sponsorships now, like the lies that you guys fabricate, the lengths you go, like AJ literally birthed a new pay-per-view star. Like Ruiz.
How would you feel if Pulev beat Joshua? Would you be clamoring for Pulev Fury right away?
Not if he doesn't get the type of level of stardom that Ruiz got. I just don't want to. I just don't want, because listen, people.
I didn't think of that. You're right.
People have fought Floyd before and they didn't get the level of stardom Canelo got. Robert Guerrero fought him. You know, Castillo fought him. We seen other Mexicans fight Floyd and not get Canelo stardom. Canelo, it did him well. It was a win-win to lose. It was a win-win. You know what I mean? And for Ruiz, it was a win-win. It was a win-win.
Here's what you're missing, though. You're missing the fact that what those fights do is raise the profile of a fighter. So Maidana isn't a household name today, but he is a much more known guy since fighting Floyd. That's the same thing going on with Ruiz. Where did he start? Did it raise his profile? Sure.
Negative.
But as a fighter and as a person that we think could be undisputed, no, it did not raise his profile. If
listen.
anything, most people were talking shit that Joshua was never real.
I'm not saying he could be undisputed or unified again. I'm saying it absolutely raised his profile. I'm saying Andy Ruiz right now versus Adam Kornacki is a pay-per-view. Andy Ruiz versus Deontay Wilder right now is a pay-per-view. And I promise you that depending on your budget or for production, Andy Ruiz versus Areola is a fucking pay-per-view. I'm just keeping it real. He's a star. He's a star. All you got to do, if you going to bring in Atlas, if you could bring in a dude like Atlas or Timothy Bradley's father, then you for sure got a pay-per-view star on your hands. You know, as long as someone's going to whoop his ass in the shape in the camp. But let's go out to some more callers. Going out to Atlanta. What it do?
Riding in the form with a form, 4 Gianos on my feet, and the paint look wet. Every corner that we been, there's another broke neck. Rolling through the city, swag game on full flex. I know you see me.
What's good? What's good?
Intrigue, what it do?
What up?
Chilling, man. Chilling, man. Listening to all this crazy talk. It make no sense, man, for them not to want Wilder to get a rematch with Joshua. And then number two, all these folks talking about, yeah, he lost the first fight. It was a draw. It was a draw. He lost the second fight. And the only reason they don't want him to fight Fury again, because they know they're going to whip him, and it's going to kill their chance of seeing Fury fight Joshua. That's what it is. That's just point blank. That's what it is. So Wilder about to beat Fury this next time around. That's all I got to say.
People really asking why Areola Kornacki wasn't pay-per-view then, because the common denominator missing is Andy. Andy the one that got the residual stardom from AJ. Andy the one whose profile has raised. Bro, do you know that Jesse Vargas got 96,000 Instagram followers? 96,000. He fought Pacquiao on pay-per-view, bro. He fought Bradley. He fought Mikey. He fought Broner. 96,000. Come on, man. Fucking disrespect numbers, bro. Y'all just don't get this sport, man. I've been doing this long enough to be able to add up who's going to be a star and who's not. And show me the dude I said was going to be a star that I'm wrong.
Here might be why they're saying this, because the way you said it, and I know what you meant, but the way it could have been interpreted was because you were saying, oh, Reese won, so now Reese Wilder's a pay-per-view and Joshua Ruiz is a pay-per-view. But is Ruiz Povetkin a pay-per-view? Is Ruiz White a pay-per-view? Ruiz
White was pay-per-view. They was trying to offer him in.
That's right. Yeah,
that's what I'm telling you. Ruiz is the common denominator, man. They even talking about a Ruiz with Joshua 3 because it make business sense. DAZN don't care what you talking about. They talking about their numbers, the influx they got. There's 36.6 million Mexican Americans in America, champ. That's the market you want to tap into. Simple. Brandon, Cincinnati, trying you one more time. I know you on that road. Shout out to all my truck drivers out there.
Yeah, what's going on, Ness? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, my fault. I had a call coming in, and I'm looking for a new job, so I keep getting job calling me for interviews and shit. But shout out to my boy J Mac. That joke was funny. I just want to see Undisputed at the end of the day. I would prefer it be Wilder and AJ because they're my two guys. It's US versus UK. I can imagine the calls and the shows building up to that shit. That'd be epic. It's already bad. The rivalry get worse. But if it's Wilder Fury, if it's AJ Wilder for Undisputed or however they do it, I just want to see Undisputed. So I don't care how it matches up. Just give us Undisputed in boxing, man. We don't get enough of that shit. And let me just give you a shout out before I get off of here, Ness. I credit you for being a Wilder fanboy YouTuber that ain't hopped on this glove gate shit show that everybody's hopping on, man. YouTube is really becoming a shit show with this glove shit. So shout out to you for staying consistent and keeping it about real boxing. That's my call.
Let's go out to Steve in Chicago one more time. Steve, what up?
Yeah, hey, how's it going, man? I haven't been here in a while. I had to get through some stuff that I've been through. But anyways, so what is Eddie saying, that he doesn't want Wilder and Fury to fight? I don't. What,
no. He's saying that he's already had several conversations with Bob, and they're ready to put a deal in place before Wilder Fury 3 happens. But regardless, they want they want the winner. Because remember, there's no more rematch after this third fight. It's one and done.
So it could be. So why is he talking to Bob if Wilder's the winner? Shouldn't he be talking to Al too?
Well, he said clearly that he wants the winner, whether it's Wilder or Fury. But obviously, he's already having conversations with Fury because at the time, Wilder hadn't accepted the rematch. Now they've already accepted it, not only in interview, but outside of interview. So now he's saying he wants the winner. The AJ and him are ready to do this for the winner. TV isn't a problem. They figured out a solution. I mean, he's just trying to play ball. He wants to be part of, the biggest game on earth.
Yeah. Yeah, I see. Yeah, the winner. Yeah, I could see that. I don't have a problem with that.
I mean, after this one, both men are contractually free.
He always wants his guys in the mix. He's always calling out fighters from other promoters and that. He always wants his guys in the mix all the time. He's constantly shouting them out. Remember, he did that with Charlo. He's done that with Canelo. He's always calling out other guys for his guys to fight. He's the only one I see doing that.
All right. Well, Steve, let me get to J-Mac. Didn't I go to J-Mac? J-Mac.
Went to J-Mac.
Or maybe this text was before I went to you. All right, so then we got the J-Mac. We got the Coyote twice. Got the Steve. Trey said to give that call to who?
Oh, man,
JT.
I forgot. And I wrote it down, but,
JT?
JT, yes.
Go ahead. Go ahead, JT.
Oh yeah, my bad. I wanted to say, yeah. Hold on. Yeah, I was in a restaurant. I had to walk out. Yeah, but damn, I forgot my thought. Yeah. Oh, also, yeah. Fuck. Give it to J-Mac, man. Give it to J-Mac. I'm busy right now.
Ah, man, what happened, champ? J-Mac, man, come through.
I liked his energy when he called in.
Hey, I'm back on Mario and MD. Both of them. Well, Mario's still a co-host. MD was something of the past, something I had to just get rid of. And it's just funny how these guys paint these narratives, and then Mario turn around arguing facts, but some of his opinions, like he said, in my opinion, why the Fury won the first fight, but he want to argue that with facts. The facts of the matter is, let's see what Fury and Wilder do in this next fight before we can start painting a picture on who should be and what should happen. Because last time I checked, AJ got his ass whooped and Wilder just got his ass whooped. Wilder comes back, beat Fury. We go back and see we got that same energy pumping for the unification. No, they're not. They're going to find excuses. They're going to go back to talking about who fell, who didn't take the first offer, who's the cash cow, and all that bullshit.
I agree with you, man. I don't want to see that energy.
Let him fight.
No.
And the winner, and we'll go back to that energy. He's saying the energy comes only after a Wilder win.
Yes.
And letting these guys figure it out. And I agree with that. Let it happen. I'm not against the third fight. I just agree with all these people that are calling in and saying this, they're not just UK guys. They're not American. Listen, I can tell you right now, you can tell the fight fans with no allegiances, with no alliances to either Fury, Wilder, or Joshua. The ones that are calling in are the ones that are saying, man, I just want undisputed. They're not saying, oh, I want Fury to be undisputed. I want Wilder to be undisputed. I want Joshua to be undisputed. No, they're just saying I want it undisputed, and so do I. But at the same time, business has to be handled because that's the sport of boxing. And in the sport of boxing, business comes with immediate rematches. And so, we are where we are. I don't have any problems with what's going on. I just think that, making sure, listen, if both of them were to come out and say, we're going to fight Joshua, if we win, dude, I wouldn't say a fucking other word about any of this shit. None of it.
I think that, the honest truth is that we're in a position where they all are going to say yes now because, if you're an Eddie AJ fan, you know that Wilder's profile, quote unquote, was raised. You know that a fight with Fury's big, a fight with Wilder's big. That's it. There's no more lies that could be, said in the media to slow down the pace of the fight. At this point, any mixture of those three men is a big fight. It just is.
Yep.
So I think we're past the bullshit in negotiations. Now, if we're talking about AJ Wilder negotiating post both losing to Fury, then we're talking negotiations again. We're talking, I bring this, you bring that. But coming out of this situation, winner Wilder Fury, there shouldn't be anything to discuss or debate. We got another caller. Mo, talk to me. UK, what up?
Yo, Ness, what's up?
What up?
What's good?
What up?
I'm liking how you ain't got the Wilder Fury 2 highlights like you on replay. The gifts.
Yo, so
like
let
you
me
had Joshua.
So let me
like
tell you
had
about
Joshua
that.
Getting fucked up.
Let me tell you about
Like,
that.
for the
No, listen. If I had some Wilder Fury 3 or 2 replays, I would play it, right? But I don't make this
Come
stuff.
on. Let's keep it real. You're trying to keep it bummy with your friend, with your bum friend Wilder.
I don't make it. People make it for me. Shout out to Bo Latham. Shout out to Jemmy. I always shout them out, just like I don't make the intros.
He'll do it.
I don't make the intros. Shout out to Dollar DiBiase. Yo, champ. There's no I in team here. This is a team, and it's more than just me.
Fair enough. Yeah. At least you've explained yourself now. Back to today's topic. Yeah, you was talking about Wilder Fury, Anthony Joshua Fury. I think Undisputed takes precedence over that fight, to be honest.
Yeah, well, thanks for calling in, Mo. But you're right. It does if there was no contracts. Unfortunately, there is a contract, so talking about
it should take precedence.
Yeah, they're talking about doing this in December, after Wilder Fury 3. We're going to Kenny, Niagara Falls. What up?
Man,
what's up, brother?
I'm tired of all these Fury fans and stuff, man. I just know when the third fight comes, Deontay Wilder's going to knock this dude out. I know that for sure, because Fury ain't got too much option he got to do. I mean, he can do now. He already stayed away from the first fight. Then the second fight, he was trying to come to him, hitting him with his fist, and his fist was in his wrist part. And I seen this clear as day. Like, I can't even believe that this dude would even stoop that low to try to even cheat, to try to get a victory. I just hope Wilder just knock this dude out real quick, this third fight, because the second fight, you can definitely see his wrist, his fist, his ball where his wrist is at, and he hitting Wilder with it. Like, you can see this as clear as day. And his hands was wrapped. You can see the wrapper part around his hands. Like, I'm like, yo, this dude is cheating like this. This is crazy. And they finally found it out after the fight. Like, that is just bad, man. I just hope Wilder knock this dude out the third fight and get this over with real quick so he can knock Joshua out next. All right, that's my call. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Kenny,
I'm not gonna
Niagara
comment
Falls.
on Kenny's call or Kenny's topic, but I will tell Kenny, being from Niagara Falls, make sure you go check out Lucas Body. We interviewed him this morning. He is from the same area as you. He is an extremely active fighter. Again, we interviewed him this morning. He's not trained. I'm sorry. He's managed by Phil LaGreco now. So yeah, check him out on YouTube. I saw a couple of fights between breaks from the morning show and this one, and he looks good.
Now, don't forget, if you're watching this on YouTube, to hit that thumbs up button, as it helps with the visibility of the show. If you enjoyed our Lucas Body interview from earlier this morning, or our Buddy McGirt, world-renowned trainer interview from this morning, hitting the thumbs up will help us continue to get those big-name guests. Working on getting us a Jaron Ennis interview, and we have Teofimo Lopez this Thursday, Tolani Minge, the welterweight, Thursday, and someone else Thursday. but don't know exactly who. So yes, please hit that thumbs up button. It helps with the visibility of the show. It helps us grow. And if you haven't done so already, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can get that notification bell every time we do go live. And every time we're live, you'll be right there. We're going out to what looks like Stefan. Talk to me.
Hi. Yeah, I was gonna say that I am looking forward to this undisputed fight, and to some of the callers that are calling in, that glove that you see on Tyson Fury is not from the second fight; it's from the first fight. So please get the facts right. That is from the first fight, and I see everybody saying it's the second fight. It's the first fight that took place. Also, everyone's saying that, you know.
Champ, you got hella background noise, Stefan. What's going on over there?
Sorry, hold on. My daughter's watching Shrek. Hold on 1 second. Hello?
Yes.
Sorry about that.
Yes, sir.
And what's your take on the glove situation, Ness?
I mean, it definitely looks crazy, but there, people have sent me videos from the first and second fight, but it's like Paulie Malignaggi said, man, you don't get to wrap up or put on your gloves without the commission there. So unless Fury paid the commission off, we just gotta, go with the punches.
It's not even worth even talking about.
Let's just see what Wilder can do in the second fight, I'd say.
That's the nail in the coffin, brother. Listen, for UK fans, thanks for calling in. For UK fans, you guys have to feel very confident. You thought Fury won the first fight, then you seen him knock him out in the second fight. I mean, this should be a piece of cake. Davidian, Niagara Falls, what up?
Yo, what's up?
What's
good? Sorry, I was on speaker, but what's good, Ness? What's good, Mario? No, I'm just calling in because earlier I liked the interview, especially Buddy McGirt. He had me dying. I was at work, so I couldn't really call in, but I'm over here laughing like crazy. People looking at me, coworkers looking at me like I'm crazy. But no, it was great interviews as always, and I don't know. The glove stuff does look kind of weird, but I want to see what happens in this third fight, and then after that, then we can see who. I would love to see Deontay Wilder come back and beat Fury, hopefully, and maybe get the undisputed. If all of a sudden there'd be some issue why Joshua the fight can't happen. So that's my call, though. God bless.
Davidian, thank you.
Yes, has Wilder made any statement about the glove thing at all?
Not that I know of.
Not that I know of either, right? I mean, that is commendable, because he could easily start going on this crazy shit, and he's not, because he knows that it's ridiculous.
I'm waiting for Stephen A. Smith or Shannon Sharp to pick it up on their show.
I think they're fully aware of what people are saying, and they're just not giving it any time.
I don't know, man. I watched something with Max Kellerman yesterday that seems like I don't know. It seems like it might land on his desk. He keeps his ear to the street. Big Nick, talk to me, UK.
Yo, what's going on, Ness? You good?
All day.
Hey, mate, listen, I ain't gonna lie, I'm just called to trolling, yeah. I'm trolling, but listen, at the end of the third fight, you know what's gonna happen? You know what the British fans are gonna sing? This happened again. It's happened again. Oh, Wilder, it's happened again. That's my call, bro. I'm out.
All right.
Hey, you got a pretty good voice.
All right, that's everyone. So I want to thank everyone that tuned in. I want to thank everybody that called in. I want to thank everybody that hit that thumbs up button, everybody that shared the show, everybody that told a friend to tell a friend that we are talking boxing right here at the Voice of the People, youtube.com/ThaBoxingVoice. Catch the podcast on iHeartRadio, iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, and wherever podcasts are found, man. I want to thank everyone once again for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. It helps with the visibility, helps us continue to grow and give some big name guests for you to enjoy. Nest GTO, Instagram, and Twitter.
Yo,
Peace.
and I just want to real quick, because Ness had, I don't know who he left off, but tomorrow we have Jeremiah Milton, a
That's right.
heavyweight, at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, and then we have Thulani. Can't wait to talk to him at 8 p.m. Eastern, and Teofimo is going to join us at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. So we got it tomorrow. Follow me at Mario Munguia on Twitter. Chop it up with me anytime. I'll talk to anybody about anything. Doesn't matter. Instagram, hit me up. Follow me. I'll follow back. Peace.
Do say.